Zander Leery was lost. He had no idea what he was doing or where he was going. Not physically. Physically, he knew that he was behind the steering wheel of his classic Ford Bronco, driving down I-10 headed to southern Louisiana. He just didn't know exactly what it was he hoped to find when he got there. His world had been turned upside down by a phone call 8 weeks ago. It had been a hospital in Boulder, alerting him that his older sister, Xenia, had been in a serious accident and was in and out of consciousness. He'd been shocked to get the call, and absolutely dumbfounded to learn that the sister he hadn't seen in almost a decade had him listed as her emergency contact and next of kin. He'd felt obligated to go to the hospital, so he'd packed a bag, left work in Oklahoma, and driven to Boulder. She'd seized only hours later, and the doctors hadn't been able to restart her heart. She'd died before he had a chance to see her, to talk to her, or even to learn that he was an uncle. Violet was 7 years old, and he hadn't even known that she existed. Zander let his eyes drift up to the rear-view mirror, and his heart ached, just like it did each and every time he looked at his niece. She had fallen asleep curled in the fetal position on the back seat. She had one of his jackets covering her, like a blanket, and in sleep she looked like any other kid, not like one who had been orphaned less than 2 months ago and then shoved into the arms of an uncle she had never met. Violet was so little, so tiny and fragile-looking. She'd inherited her mother's pale skin, full lips, and hazel green eyes. Her hair wasn't the bright copper red Xenia's had been, or a darker auburn brown like his for that matter. It was a dark blonde, long and wavy, and he could only assume that attribute had come from whatever man donated the other half of her DNA. Not that Zander had any clue as to who that man might be.